HCB family, how's it going? Welcome to Hold the Ball, your home of pure rugby league. Hope you guys are well. Thank you again for tuning in. If you're new, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Alright guys, so I'm actually be going through my thoughts on the New Zealand halves combination. A bit of a deep dive analysis, if you will. Maybe not too deep of a dive, but anyway, I digress. DJ, hit that intro. I hope you're well. Thank you again for tuning in. Yes, the big question is Shaun Johnson, Te Maire Martin, Volkman, right? Metcalf. What's going on? Who's going to be playing? Who's the best halves pairing, right? Now, we all know that in the New Zealand Warriors camp, the halves position, I think for probably the best part of about, 3 to 5 years, has always been up and down. We've had a lot of changes. We've had a few silly combinations over the time, but I think for the first time in a long time, the New Zealand Warriors now have what, in my opinion anyway, is probably the best depth we've had in the halves position in a long time. Now, obviously, you got the likes of Shaun Johnson, who's on his final contract year, leading that charge there, who will have the honours of actually, being our number 7, our halfback, and obviously, I suppose it's a no-brainer almost, if you will, with Te Maire Martin being in the 5'8" position. However, I'm sure you're not the only one, just like I am. I'm not the only one who's actually questioned, would you change it up a bit? Would you look at different lineups potentially? Now, hear me out. Obviously, the most stable, you'll think anyway, is Te Maire Martin, right? 5'8", and Shaun Johnson. Now, bear in mind, the reality with these two players, obviously Te Maire Martin was such an inspiring, beautiful story. Shaun Johnson as well, right? In my opinion anyway, the best halfback we've ever had. Coming back to the Warriors, it's a case of, despite those stories, these two players, whether you like it or not, have unfortunately at times can be a little bit injury prone. Now, I'm not saying that in a bad way, not at all. I'm just saying in the sense that sometimes they just get injured, and obviously things have to maneuver around to accommodate for that fact. Last year, case in point. Now with the Warriors, right, you've got the likes of Volkman knocking on that door. You've got the likes of Metcalf, Dylan Walker, if you will, right? I think even Bailey Suriname, anyway, I'm not going to get that silly, but you get my point, right? You've got the likes of Metcalf, Volkman in there, in the halves position, right? For the first time in a long time, I think it's a really good, healthy combo. Now, for me, the question is really, obviously, that is the strongest lineup, halves pairing, but what if you sort of changed it up a bit? Now, obviously, Volkman and Metcalf, they're both young, up-and-coming Warriors halves pairing. And for mine, I'm not going to lie, low-key loved the Metcalf interview where he gave me just a sense of hope and promise. And I'm a Warriors fan, so I'm going to fall for that false sense of hope. No, not false, but you get what I mean. I love hope, and I love that sense of up-and-coming and newness. And I suppose I'm not alone when I say this. So when I saw Metcalf, talking like that, you bet your bottom dollar I was ready to throw it all, if you will. Now again with Metcalf, I love it. Volkman as well, don't forget he played last year as well, and I thought he wasn't too bad against the Penrith Panthers. Now granted, baptism in fire, but nonetheless he definitely had a bit of a showing. Those little bits there where I really liked them. As for Metcalf, I think for me, just you can just tell there's something special about him. Now, is it me being hopeful? Potentially, but disregard all that. I really do think he's special. Now, will Te Maire Martin and Shaun Johnson be a halves pairing that lasts? I'm not too sure. I can't say that it will. The other question is, what happens when Shaun Johnson goes down? Who do you have? Do you have Metcalf? Do you have Volkman? Volkman, for me, almost can play, I think anyway, a bit of this and a bit of that, right? You can put him in a halfback. You can put him in 5'8". Whereas for me, I think Metcalf is primarily a halfback specialist. Te Maire Martin, a bit of an all-rounder. I know 5'8" he's played, but I think, you could fit him almost, not necessarily anywhere, but you could fit him in fullback. You could fit him potentially in, centre. Obviously utility role as well, if you will, if you wanted to. But look, for me, those are the sort of questions I have. Now, granted, I actually do think Metcalf will play this year, and I also do think that Volkman will play this year. And Now, I won't be surprised if things don't go the way of the Warriors, for example, fitness-wise with Johnson as well as Tim Martin. I actually do see Volkman and Metcalf pairing up, and I suppose in that sense, you're basically primarily looking at the future of the Warriors, right, in the halves. Interesting prospect to look at. But yeah, who would your halves pairing be, or who would you feel most comfortable, sort of having on a week-to-week basis? And I suppose the other question is, can Sean Johnson meet the demands that we have as fans? I suppose, obviously there are a lot of people here who like him, and a lot of people don't. And regardless, they're Warriors fans, and I suppose you've just got to, take it for what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, big questions though. Yeah, and as for Tim Martin, how does he hold up? Can he be the X factor? What if he is the X factor, right? As for Volkman and Metcalf, the understudies, if you will, when do they have their time to shine? And if they do play and they play well, what happens? Again, a lot of questions. But I thought, I'll just throw it to you guys. The halves pairing, the halves question, who will be? Yeah. Anyway, I think I've talked too much. Anyway, take it easy. See you guys next time. Give me thoughts. And just remember, hold the ball.